everybody? This is Lady Luck here again. Okay. Step up to the plate. Swing better. Cheryl Schranz. First of all, I want to just give a fantastic shout out to all in the queue for touching on this Cheryl Schranz character that you all see before you. I literally could not even find a photo on her. And I've been getting some information together and, preparing to do this video for you all. It's going to be packed full of information. And I got some court documents and some business licenses we're going to look up. So we're going to just kind of cover it all. So thank you to all in the queue for even speaking on Cheryl Schranz. If you guys don't know who Cheryl Schranz is, by the end of this video, you will. But to start off with, she is a current, as far as my knowledge and understanding is, with that, still a current Thornton Township employee, and was also a vendor, allegedly, for the village of Dolton. Her company that she is listed as the principal agent of is JTS Towing LLC. And why are we talking about her, Lady Luck? Well, I'm glad you asked, because she showed up on the FBI subpoena that was served to the village of Dolton last year in 2024. So one of the things that I kind of wanted to do is to kind of touch base on a few of the people that were named in the FBI subpoena. Last video, I covered Robert Hunt and his horrible credit card usage over there at Thornton Township, because he himself did land in the subpoena as well. And I think it's important to understand why some of these people are being named. And the many mysteries of Cheryl Schranz we're going to get into. But, I find it odd and peculiar that she's actually listed as an employee while allegedly proclaims to be a vendor or a contractor for the village of Dolton. And here she is on Thornton Township's payroll. So let's get into it. Thank you all in the queue. I did a screenshot of this because I just thought it was just a neat picture, and I just put her name up there. Step up to the plate. But you guys, make sure you check out All in the Queue's channel. She has a full video on Cheryl Schranz as well. I'm going to be diving deep into some court documents that I came across, but she also has great content on this, and I think it's a great opportunity for, those, especially those who live there and have that voting power that, people just keep trying to remind me of, like that's supposed to stop me from doing a report or a video. But it's imperative that you understand exactly what's going on, so you'll know how to vote, you'll know how to research and look up information on individuals or grants or, bonds. I mean, you can have a better understanding and know how these things affect your life. So let's get to it. So if you guys see here, and I'm going to just kind of go over where she's located in the FBI subpoena. Oh man, the FBI wants all employee contractor records associated with the following individuals, including, but not limited to. That means that they want this information as a minimum, but it's not limited to this. All right. And that's the hiring and retention, consulting agreements and or employment contracts, personnel files, work schedules, records of invoices and payments, and job description for. And as you all can see right under aka Kamal Siggy Jamal Woods, you have Cheryl Schranz. Yes, because she is, like I said, an employee of Thornton Township and also proclaims to be a vendor of the village of Dolton. If Shiesty just was epitomized, this would be it. A picture of Cheryl Schranz would just be, the image you would see next to ironic. All right, moving on. She's also listed down for the all payment disbursements information, including but not limited to expense reimbursements, credit card expenditures, per diems, expense reports, receipts, electronic communication related to the following individuals and or entities. And then you guys see her again listed right under Siggy, Cheryl Schranz. So, you get the point. She comes up a few times in this FBI subpoena. It's just two I saw and wanted to touch on. I've gone over the FBI subpoena in great detail previously. So you guys, please make sure you take time to read the FBI subpoenas. They are available online. The one that was issued last year is on the Lansing Journal's website. The second one, I can't remember where I got it from, but it is online. You can, research it and pull it up. It should be fully available to everybody now, but it is, once it's released to the public, it's, this public disclosures. So, all right, moving on. So here is the employee information on Cheryl Schranz for Thornton Township. It says here that she looks like was hired in 2023. I don't know if she's still there or not. Like I said, as far as I know, she is, but I'm not sure on that. Don't quote me. It looks like here public record shows Cheryl Schranz M. Her middle initial is M. Working for Thornton Township from 2023 to 2024. So she may be gone. I don't know. I just literally pulled this information up last week. As of 2024, she was making $45,861 a year, doing God knows what. Because I don't see a job title. So if any of you know what she does, please let me know. And then you guys can see some other employees there. It is reported that there's approximately 90 employees with Dolton Township. So as you can see, some other employees listed, but yeah, we're focusing on Cheryl M. Schranz, or Schranz M. I'm assuming that's a middle initial, and she makes above average, like 29% higher than the median salary in Dolton Township, and she's a whole ass business owner. Like, she's not. I don't perceive her to be broke and struggling like hell. And these salaries, this is one of the things why the FBI is trying to figure out job descriptions and job titles, as well as, you know, the income they're earning, because they're trying to also figure out how we don't see job codes or job IDs or job titles, job descriptions, but yet we see these people in these roles getting paid all of this unexplainable, stupid money. Like Keith McChicken Nugget. There's no job ID or job description, job title of food pantry or something that Super Stupid came up with. When you create a job, it has to go through several different layers of approvals. That includes going through HR, payroll, legal, compliance, as well as the hiring department, all before you even put a budget to that position. But when you can't even explain what the person does, how do you justify their income? So this is tax dollars here. You're talking about people getting paid towards someone like Cheryl Schranz, who doesn't need the money. Because, you know, allegedly, the way she comes off anyway, it's like I'm balling in my position as a principal agent of a towing company while still wanting all this money from the village of Dolton and getting paid tax dollars through Dolton Township. You can't make this up. You just can't make this up. Okay, moving on. So here's just another clip of some of the horrible reviews that JTS Towing LLC received. This is on All in the Q's channel. You guys got to check out her video, please. It just needs more views there because, oh man, the corruption just runs deep like hell. You got great content creators that are really putting their information out there. And I don't understand why this video does not have more views all in the queue, but I'm sending them your way. Yes. When you get through, listen, when you get through watching this video, that's going to be fantastic as well. Hit the like button and then go over to All in the Queue and watch our video on Cheryl Schranz. It'll all make sense. Because it's like they're so obvious and blatant with the corruption, it's not even funny. It's really sad. But, you know, hopefully the new administration will kind of put a kibosh on a lot of the things that are going on, especially when there is no bidding, RFPs, or contracts put in place with some of these vendors. And we'll find out in a minute what's going on with this JTS towing and why they suck. They suck. Look at this. I mean, just one horrible review after another. So let's take a look at some of the business license information that I was able to find online. So I went on the business entity search under the Office of Illinois Secretary of State website. And as you all can see here, JTS Towing LLC, got the principal address there. Yeah, this is public information. So when you're looking at addresses and stuff, I have no intention of doing anything with your damn address because I don't pay your bills there. So if it's made available to the public, especially if it's a company or some sort, I mean, it is what it is. This is not doxing when it's made available to the public. I don't know why people keep saying that. But either way, you guys can see the file number and then the date when I first put it into place, and that's 8/15/2017. And as you all can see down at the bottom, the agent information, the last annual report she allegedly filed was last year, 2024. Cheryl Schranz, and you got her information as well. This is the principal address for the business, where it's registered to here. And then, of course, if you go on the website, what you'll see are these filing documents. This documents that have to be filed every year. The first two that I highlighted is just showing the most recent filing document. You can click on that link. It's just going to pull up some information. I mean, I'll pull that up. I think I did do a print of that one. And the second one that's highlighted at 8/15/2017 is just simply the original document filed for the LLC itself. So when I go on the website and click the most recent filing, what you see here is, Lord have mercy, a statement of termination. It's so ironic. This was filed back on June 17, 2024. You guys see that here. Illinois LLC Act Statement of Termination. And you got the file number up there, 064-34746. The LLC name, JTS Towing LLC. They have the address to which a copy of any process against the LLC may be served. And that address is listed in Indiana. Wow. So, and like I said, I'm not reading the address, but you guys can see it here on this very public document. So, get over that whole doxing thing. That everything's not a doxing situation if it's available to the public. Now, if you get talking about private information that's not out there and readily available to the public, that's one thing. Reading an address on public documents is not toxic. All right, moving on. You see number 3 here. What does that say? The LLC has been terminated. The limited liability company has been terminated. Any undersigned firms under penalty of perjury having authority to sign hereto that this statement of termination is to the best of my knowledge and belief true, correct, and complete. June 17, 2024. And Cheryl Schranz, once again, her name's listed there, is terminated. So this is it's $5 a file this. But this is why. And I'm going to go to the next point, you guys, to see why it's imperative to see this statement of termination. It's imperative. It means that the LLC no longer is a company. It doesn't exist. And then they have an Indiana address on here that I do believe belongs to the actual owner. Cheryl Schranz was listed as the principal agent. But we're going to get to the next point in a minute. Bear with me. This is the information that's on the Better Business Bureau. Of course, they're not, credited or anything. But they never were, I don't think. There was a file that was opened up back on June 14th of 2022. Y'all, they suck. They get so many bad reviews. There's been complaints filed about people having their vehicles stolen or vandalized or items stolen out of their vehicles. Just all kinds of ridiculous things. And they have a few lawsuits against them. So for them to be terminated, I would, suggest if you do want to file a lawsuit against JTS Towing LLC, being that is terminated, then you have to go after the owner and or principal agent. That would be Cheryl Schranz. And the owner, I can't remember his name, but it's originally that he's, his main business is listed in Indiana as well. But that's who you're going to go after if you want to still file a lawsuit. If you've had issues where items coming up missing and your car is coming up missing, the car has been crushed, it's been damaged, anything, you're going to have to go after the principal agent and the owner. And as you all can see at the bottom, their BBB rating was a flat out F because they failed. So it's almost a good thing that the LLC itself has been terminated as of last year, June, because they were just doing more harm than good. So it brings the question in mind even the more when the court documents I'm going to pull up why they even exist in the first place. But yeah, we're going to get to it. Here's the dead to top of it all. Yeah, they tried to file a lawsuit. JTS Towing tried to file a lawsuit against the village of Dolton. So y'all know I have the court documents, but I just wanted to show you all the docket. They have 2 case numbers here. So this case number is 2024 L is in love 012631 for breach of contract. Okay, they're trying to sue. Look at this, the village of Dolton for a breach of contract. Yeah, the first thing that any person that uses the common sense God gave a billy goat would ask would be, what contract, right? Because what the hell? And being that the LLC is now terminated, it's even more fishy that they're trying to sue as JTS Towing LLC, the village of Dolton, for breach of contract for some agreement that I have yet to find. And I'm be honest. And I have been looking. Yeah, I've been putting this information together for a good week or so. And between work and the kids and everything, it's been hard for me to keep my content consistent like I really want to. I want to do a video or 2 every day. But it's been more of a challenge. As you all can still hear, I still sound like allergies kicking my butt. It's picking up, by the way. My birthday is Monday, I'm sorry. Oh, God. Monday, March 31st. I want to be cleared of everything so I can just enjoy my weekend, my birthday weekend. Hopefully be able to see my kids and just have some celebration and fun. But listen, y'all, this is something else. JTS Towing is suing the village of Dolton with a terminated LLC, for breach of contract. So, oh man, y'all see why I love reading court documents. There is a status hearing coming up on April 9th, 2025 at 9:45 a.m. So if you're able to tune into that, I think it'll be very interesting for a terminated LLC that can't prove they had a contract in writing in the first place with the village of Dolton to be suing for a breach of contract, while the principal agent is still allegedly on the payroll for Thornton Township. It's like the biggest pimp slap to the face of tax-paying voters in Thornton and Dolton for JTS Towing to be doing all this nonsense while Cheryl Schranz is collecting tax dollars as salary. Oh my God. So this court case is still an active case. You guys see the case number. Is a hearing coming up on April 9th. Child, more than likely I have to work. But if you guys can go in and at least sit in on the Zoom hearing, yeah, do that. Because this is something else. You guys can see the full docket here. all of the events that have occurred with this case, the activity on it. So here's the court documents. This is a complaint. Y'all, I got this on Trellis Law. Very good website. Now, here's the other case number here, 2025, L is in love, 003004. And I believe that there are two different case numbers because the original petition filed was not a complaint. There was no actual complaint that was filed. I think it was like the cover sheet, some exhibits, an affidavit, but this is the actual complaint filed to the court. Basically, where you're saying, hey, we have a problem. Here's the relief we're seeking. Here's why. Cite some laws, some case law, present your evidence, exhibits. And that's pretty much the bulk of the initial documentation. So, of course, on April 9th, I'm sure that they're going to kind of dive into some of the exhibits to determine whether this case has some merit. I don't see how you have merit, and this is just my opinion. I'm not an attorney, but my mommy is a federal judge. But it's in my opinion, if you don't even have a contract in the first place, what's being breached? What exactly is being breached here? And remember, guys, it's not a good thing to operate on verbal agreements. Last time I, mentioned that, it was regarding Siggy and this car wash and the verbal agreement that he made with some contractors, AAA contracting group, something like to that extent, where they had to sue him and Ahmad Akalani is something to that extent. I don't want to keep butchering his name. For $176,000 plus an additional $250K for building that car wash, all because they operate on a verbal agreement. So when are you all going to learn not to do verbal agreements again? So here's the complaint. It's basically a similar situation. Okay, you got the plaintiff, JTS Towing LLC, makes the following complaint against the defendant, the village of Dolton. Of course, they address the jurisdiction. So the correct courthouse would be Cook County. And of course, JTS is some background information on that. Is a tow company. Founder is Jim Piecul. I don't know if I'm saying Piecul. Piecul. I don't know if I'm saying his last name right. So I'm just going to say Jim. And current owner, the founder was Jim Piecul. And current owner, Cheryl Schranz, have been working in the towing industry for over 30 years. Members of this company have been towing for Dolton since 1986. As of March 1, 2009, JTS became the full-time police company provider for Phoenix. And as of June 1, 2021, JTS became the full-time police tow company provider for Fort Linwood. I'm sorry. Oh, Lord have mercy. On August 2nd, 2021, a request for towing vendor was received by JTS Towing LLC, with JTS offering a response on August 4, 2021. Yeah, it's 2 days apart. But as you all see above, they alleged that they had been towing for Linwood and as well as Phoenix full-time for both of those police departments. Curious to know if they have a contract set up with those mayors or representatives with Phoenix and Linwood. Now I'm just really curious about that. So simply because they have done this with two other police departments, I guess they just kind of figured they would be a shoe-in for the village of Dolton. Yeah, okay. So JTS offering a response on August 4, 2021, attached as Plaintiff Exhibit A. So when you see an exhibit, either it's like P in a number or R in a number. P is for plaintiff, R is for respondent. Or, every so often you might see D, especially in criminal matters, for defendant, which was accepted by Dolton. The response was accepted, as they allege, which was accepted by Dolton by and through their police chief, Robert Collins, on August 9, 2021. See attached as Plaintiff Exhibit B, which has a scrivener error showing April 9, 2021 instead of August 9, 2021. Basically, they said, it's just a clerical error. They put in the wrong month. But as long as, the record is corrected with the court, it's an error. People make mistakes. So you guys see the problem already here. By and through their police chief, Robert Collins. When did police chiefs act on behalf of an entire village, especially in Dolton, to acquire vendor services to do anything? When did that happen without board approval? Why does this not say that there was an actual competitive bid process that occurred, an RFP, they submitted a response, claimed that it was accepted by Dolton by and through the police chief? When did police chiefs get to say, yeah, we're going to accept this whole ass vendor Charge the invoices over to the village of Dolton, though, but don't let it come out of the damn budget for the police department. Oh, no. When does the police chief get to act on behalf of the village of Dolton Board of Trustees? As if the police chief's role is somehow, I guess, a member of the legislative body as an officer on the board. When did that ever happen? Okay. I don't know who Robert Collins is, and I don't care. I've never heard of the police chief sit down and accept a contract with a vendor on behalf of the Board of Trustees, who are, by law, state law and local ordinances, are the ones that are supposed to approve any contract agreement with any vendor. Not the police chief. I don't care if the towing is for or through the police department itself. The police chief does not have the authority to accept a whole ass vendor on behalf of the Board of Trustees, according to the local ordinances in the village of Dolton. There's supposed to be a majority vote process that occurs here. And somehow they're admitting that somehow their so-called response was accepted on behalf of the village of Dolton by and through the police chief, Robert Collins, on August 9th, 2021. Come on now. So, yeah, this is a interesting court document. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but I'm just going to kind of skim over some information that is just kind of vital to what I want to point out for the purposes of this video. They did, oh Lord, the date of the actual execution of the agreement was then August 9th, 2021. Same day, police chief accepted it on behalf of the village of Dolton Board of Trustees, because of reasons. That upon the execution of said agreement, JTS Towing LLC commenced working for the village of Dolton as a towing contractor that, pursuant to the agreement, continued until such time as JTS was advised in violation of their agreement that they were being displaced as the primary responder as of September 16, 2024, which now has been so implemented that this conduct has now resulted in JTS being deprived of the rightful access to contractual obligated services and impairing the company effective delivery of services pursuant to the agreement. Where is the agreement in writing? Where is that contract agreement? First of all, the RFP in and of itself and the contract agreement done in writing is supposed to be available to the public. So where is it? And why is that not mentioned like a written agreement? This breach of this contract by the defendants was without an arguable basis. I think it's arguable to say if it never existed, then what they're doing is tying up loose ends to say, listen, we never gave you all approval in the first place. We didn't sign a contract with you all. And the police chief certainly does not have the authority to say, yeah, we'll take on vendor services on behalf of the village of Dolton, the Board of Trustees, who are really the ones that are supposed to approve that. Yeah, we'll do it for them. God. So, yeah, no, I think it's arguable if the actual contract agreement does not exist and was accompanied by a conduct so willful and so grossly negligent as to constitute an independent tort. I mean, the tort is just basically saying, you hurt my feelings. You told me we can do this for exchange of money with service. And now I've been damaged. The end. Tort is basically saying lawsuit. You're seeking damages. Also, as a direct, oh God, who typed that up? As a direct and proximate result of defendant's wrongful conduct as described in this complaint, the plaintiff has suffered and continues to suffer damages. The exact amount of these damages are unknown, but are reasonably believed to exceed $50,000 of money they will not get because Village of Dolton doesn't have money to keep shoveling out. The information necessary to calculate those damages have been withheld from the plaintiff by the defendants because there's no contract. Okay. Moreover, the defendant's wrongful conduct constitutes bad faith and involves such willfulness and maliciousness that it rises to the level of an independent tort or torts, thus entitling the plaintiff to recover punitive damages from the defendants with no contract and some word of mouth agreement verbally done with the police chief who doesn't have the authority to do that. God. Given the conduct of the defendants and the pecuniary ability or financial worth, pecuniary, good grief, I can't talk today, y'all, I'm tired. Ability or financial worth of the defendants, then $50,000 per defendant is well within the amount reasonably necessary for punishment of the wrongdoing, deterring the defendants from similar conduct and to make an example of the defendants so others may be deterred. Oh my God, they want each defendant to pay $50,000. They got Village of Dolton though listed as the defendant. So the assumption is they want each trustee to count as a $50,000 payment. Where you contract that again, girl? Cheryl Schranz. Where the hell is your contract agreement? Oh, God. Here's where it gets good. Defendant failure to pay the plaintiff the cost of the work when forcing him out of the home constitutes a breach of contract. This willful breach of contract by the defendant was attended by such malice, insult, and abuse that it constitutes an independent tort, thus entitling the plaintiff to recover punitive damages as well as actual damages were approximately and foreseeable caused by the defendant's breach of a non-existent contract. Y'all see the next section here. Breach of implied in fact contract. See, here's where it gets good. Okay? Here's where it gets good. The defendant's words to and conduct toward the plaintiff constituted an implied promise to pay the plaintiff. Y'all see this here? Yeah, the defendant's words to and conduct toward the plaintiff constituted an implied promise to pay to the plaintiff an equal share of all funds received by the defendant for the work done on the property. The defendants breached that promise without good cause and in bad faith. Yeah, no, never mind that actual RFP and contractual agreement that's supposed to exist in writing. No. It's a breach of implied in fact contract that, let me remind you, was accepted by and through the police chief, who's not a representative of the village of Dolton board of trustees that are the ones that are supposed to approve of any contractor or vendor services. The police chief cannot just say, we'll take your request and your response and we'll bring you on as a vendor on behalf of the village of Dolton. There's no law that supports that, and the ordinance or the description of the police chief in Dolton itself specifically does not support that role. Does not support any police chief to be able to do that. You're talking about a breach of an implied in fact contract. So basically a verbal agreement, a dumb one at that. Now with JTS Towing LLC, that is now terminated. You can't make this up. I really want a theme song to start off some of my videos. That is literally, you can't make this up. Like, give it a good gospel twang, maybe some R&B, heavy guitar, bass guitar in it. Oh yeah, that'd be good. Yeah, no, because you can't make this up. You cannot make this up. So you had a verbal agreement between JTS Towing LLC and the police chief. That's it. Here, this is what happens when you get a rogue mayor like Super Stupid in a role that is so egregious when it comes to competitive bidding and establishing contracts and agreements with vendors that she said herself, because she's not going to ever own up to it when it makes her look bad or when she's just flat out wrong because she's a pathological liar. But she has said in a whole ass video that's been reported in an article as well as in other court documents. You know, people just come in here, they sign up, they want to get services, and I allow them to work. I give the contractors the work. They should be paid for the work they do. Why? When you're not following whole laws to set up agreements with these vendors. So since you're not smart enough to understand how contracts work, Super Stupid, JTS Towing needs to go after your ass. Technically, they should be going after the police chief. He's the one that made the agreement with no written anything in place. This whole process was circumvented. Now do you all understand why in my last video I went over the federal regulations regarding a competitive bidding process and contractual agreements with any level of government entity, whether it be local, state, or federal. This is why contracts in writing, not implied, in fact, in writing are imperative. Because they can't even say what the damages really is. They're just saying, listen, just give us $50,000 per person that represents the village of Dolton, I guess. Because they said for each defendant, but it's only one main defendant listed, and that's the village of Dolton. God knows what all that constitutes. That could be beyond the board of trustees. That could include the mayor, it could include the police department, the fire department. Who knows what all that implies and entails? Just saying the village of Dolton, what, you including all 20,000 citizens that live there as well? What does that mean? See, these are the things that hopefully, because I know the Dolton trustees watch my videos, that their attorney will ask when they have court coming up on April 9th, Your Honor, what the hell does the $50,000 per defendant mean here? Because is that including all the residents and all of the board of trustees and the mayor? And, you know, what does that mean here? It's 16 to 20,000 people in the village of Dolton. You think, is it reasonable for JTS Towing, a terminated LLC, to ask for $50,000 for every single person in the village of Dolton that's listed as defendant? What the hell is that? Yeah, because all of this is ridiculous. You got implied in fact contract. Good grief. Yeah, the wrong person said that they could be a vendor. And now look what happened. The defendant's promise in this respect was supported by adequate consideration, including but not limited to continued substantial detrimental reliance, and as a direct and proximate result of the defendant's breach, the plaintiffs suffered general damages. The breach by the defendants of their promise What promise? Oh, the one that was just made by one individual who can't speak on behalf of the village of Dolton at all when it comes to acquiring vendor services. Nope, they cannot. Which was willful or grossly negligent, was attended malice, insult, and abuse that is constituted in an independent tort, thus entitling the plaintiff to recover punitive damages as well as actual damages. Oh, God. So you see, okay, it basically goes on to say how the defendant breached this somehow verbal agreement that was made with the police chief, technically, who did not have the authority to even make that agreement in the first place. And, they feel like they're owed a lot of money. Promissory estoppel. Basically, they're saying that the defendant deliberately made promises to the plaintiff when they expected that the plaintiff will rely on those promises. Yeah, because verbal agreements don't really count for shit in court, because you can just go in there and lie and say anything. That's why you get stuff in writing. That's why you have competitive bidding and contractual agreements made. That's why you just don't tell people they can do something and you don't know what's going on. Super Stupid was infamous for that. She just give out work to people because, kickbacks. And then now you have this unholy mess upon the village of Dolton, and no one knows what it means to have $50,000 per person or per defendant based on what JTS Towing is asking for. No one knows what that means. They could literally be asking for $50,000 per person in the village of Dolton. Who knows? Who knows? Whatever that means. It is what it is. Yeah, they just throwing stuff in. Now they want to put words on paper. But you couldn't make that demand when you set up an agreement that should have been established in a contract, JTS Towing and Cheryl Schranz. And the other one. Yeah, the founder. Y'all can somehow get words on paper and signatures and a date and a notary done before you started doing work for the village of Dolton. Towing people's cars and stealing and crushing and thievery and all this nonsense y'all doing with these vehicles. No. Oh, okay. Too much like right? Too much like right. Got it. Those promises were known by the defendants to create a reasonable expectation to the plaintiff that the plaintiff would receive an equal value of funds paid for the construction and rehabilitation, as well as the I don't know why this stuff is cut off. I'm assuming that's the appreciation. Whatever. The plaintiff relied to her substantial detriment upon those promises, and justice can only be prevented by enforcing the defendant's promises. Why are there words missing here? You read this and you're thinking about the English language and syntax. Obviously, there are words missing. I just don't know why. The defendant's breach of her promises assurance approximately caused the damages previously described. Oh, Lord, they're saying it was set by were foreseeable in defendant's conduct causing... Okay, they're saying basically that the damages were foreseeable considering the fact that this so-called implied, in fact, verbal agreement made with the police chief and no one else, allegedly, caused all these damages, and now they think they are owed all of this money. So I'm just going to scroll for you all to be able to see here. Yeah, I'm just scrolling through it so you all can see the relief they're asking for. They want a lot of money. Some of the words were on to the left side of the paper. I don't understand why it's typed and formatted that way. Like, ooh, child. You all can see the attorney for JTS Towing LLC is Roy F. McCampbell, Esquire. I'm assuming that's the bar number 12519. It's supposed to be there either way. The attorney for the plaintiff, but this is laughable. This lawsuit is a joke. It really is. They basically admitted in the complaint that they made a verbal agreement with the police chief, and now they're mad that they're not getting more work because a non-existent agreement that should have never existed in the first place with the chief of police, who's no longer there, by the way. Where's this Collins guy? Where's he at now? That's the last one that was there that I remember is Potato Head Lacey, who's in a lot of trouble. I mean, really, where is this Collins person at? He might want to think about making some things right here, because you left the village of Dolton on the hook with this stupid ass lawsuit that, honestly, if the village of Dolton attorneys really just want to put down the hammer, they could, and then teach JTS Towing a lesson as to why they should not expect work without a contract in place signed with the actual village. Kick rocks, because it's all your fault for not getting something right. Great. So here's the exhibit that were attached last year. You guys can see all the information there. It has the proposal letter that Cheryl Schranz sent on August 4th of 2021. We're pleased to present you with a very detailed proposal for towing and storage. Yada, yada, yada. Here's kind of the basis of what we're doing. We've been doing it for 1,000 years. Yada, yada, yada. You guys can read this for yourself. I want to, just kind of show you all the information here. I'm just kind of let that run and play on. But this is like I said, this is the problem. You have so many vendors and contractors that, were told that they can do work, especially with Super Stupid, who should have never even started this nonsense. And now they're coming back talking about where's my money. Just like the lady that said something about her band playing with Kiki Wyatt in the Thornton Township meeting yesterday. I mean, she stated in the, and I was on Alicia Nicole's live stream, so shout out to her. You guys make sure you check out her live stream. And a few people did a live stream. Vivian did a live stream. Alicia Nicole did a live stream. There was a couple others there. I think Lansing Journal was there. So, this lady gets up and she's like, oh, well, you guys, it's in my contract that I didn't know we were performing and we're asking for $1,000. I heard $1,000, but she said 1,000. But I didn't. Some people heard 8,000, 8,000. I heard 1,000, as in a $1,000 payment. But that's what my ears heard, and I kind of got out of that. Either way, if you do not have a contract, you don't have a bid in place, you don't have a contract, just because Kiki Wyatt performed doesn't mean that you're entitled to money. Where is the contractual agreement? And why are you just now saying something in a meeting where Super Stupid is not even there? And she mentioned someone named Angela, and I'm curious to know who that is. I'm curious to know who Angela is, because allegedly it sounds like Angela's the one that told her that her and her band could perform. But that the process is that you got to get this contract agreement has to be agreed upon by the board. It's the same in Thornton Township than it is in the village of Dolton, especially when you're dealing with Super Stupid, who somehow believes she's above the rule of law. So you can't just, expect them to just pay you money, whether it be $1,000 or $8,000. I don't care. Why not confront Super Stupid or that Angela person? Hey, you promised me I can be able to perform here, and my contract outlined that I submitted. And I could have sworn I heard her say that it was not approved. When she asked Angela in a follow-up about it, I could have heard her. I could have sworn I heard her say that it was not approved, that she was told it was not approved. I'm going to actually play a clip of that video at the end, because that's going to wreck my brain if I don't look at it. But I could have sworn I heard her say that. So if you knew that your proposal was not even accepted or approved, why were you still expecting to perform and then get paid money? Because somebody still wrote you a check? Because somehow you ended up on that warrant list, I assume. Just like other expenses have ended up on that list that for the past 2 meetings had to be voted to be permanently removed. So it could have been a coincidence that you just ended up on a warrant list to be paid something. But you claim it wasn't even the right amount. So that means you should have never been on the list in the first place, especially if you did not have a contractual agreement signed by the Board of Trustees and yourself. So it doesn't matter what you put on paper about how much you think you should get for not being told you were going to perform for something that you were not approved to perform for. It's like almost speaking in riddles right now. This is unbelievable. You can't make this up. And you want to go in and get up and have a gripe with the people who did not make that agreement with you. Go to the person that made the agreement with you. I don't know who Angela is. Maybe I've seen the person and just can't put a face with a name. But either way, she specifically named that Angela lady. So that's the person you might want to go to and say, hey, what the hell happened here? 'Cause I thought I was going to be getting some money. Turns out I wasn't. So what's going on? But she should have probably never gotten a check to begin with. So hopefully Thornton Township is learning to stop just paying bills all willy-nilly and approving off on stuff, because this is how you end up with a misappropriation. This is how you end up with people being there talking about they're owed some money they're not technically owed, especially when they admitted that they were not given the approval to perform the service. Kiki Wyatt is not the only singer on the planet, girl. Please. I don't deny her talent, but good Lord. So you're going to have to try again with somebody else, because no one's in the mood. No one's in the mood, lady. We're not in the mood. So like I said, this is part of the exhibit here, just their proposal that they submitted. And they certainly did not produce a signed contract agreement. And considering the fact that their complaint is talking about a breach of contract implied in fact. Yeah, no, it's safe to say that there will not be a contract agreement in writing signed by both parties that can be presented to the court, because at this juncture, to even try to file a lawsuit against the village of Dolton, knowing that there's a deficit, they have, bonds to pay, because they do. But either way, they're not going to pay JTS Towing LLC before they pay their bond. Why would they do that? If I have a If I know I got to pay my light bill, my gas bill, and water bill, I need those 3 bills to be paid, to be paid first before I go try to pay someone to wash my car. That's what JTS Towing is right now. They're like a car wash service that no one needs. And they want to sit here and ask for $50,000 per defendant. Are you kidding me? Shabu. Bye, Felicia. No. So here's just the kind of remaining portion of the, and mind you all, this is an exhibit. And this is just their proposal here. All right. And you guys can always look up court documents. They have other attachments available at the bottom, as you can see. And the other attachments are the STVR numbers required by Illinois Commerce Commission, certificate of insurance currently held, certificate of workman's compensation currently held, letter of recommendation from the Village of Phoenix, corporation good standing certificate from the Secretary of State, Illinois. That website that I went to earlier where I pulled up that statement of termination that's been on file there since June of 2024. Yeah. So it's terminated. What are you doing? Certificate issued by, the Traffic Management Safety. This is all their exhibits they listed. Not one exhibit named here is a contractual agreement between the Village of Dolton and JTS Towing LLC, because it doesn't exist. And honestly, I can't take it seriously if you've terminated the LLC in the first place. This is the nonsense and the buffoonery of what's going on here. And Cheryl Schranz wants tax dollars, $50,000 per defendant, by the way, for a verbal agreement between a police chief who didn't have the authority to make that agreement. All right, moving on. So to drive the point home about why this police chief should have never said anything to JTS Towing in the first place, I have what you see here is the police department. This is basically the duties of each position within the police department for the Village of Dolton. This is a part of an exhibit for another court document filing. Let me see here. So this is a part of the plaintiff's emergency motion for a temporary restraining order and preliminary injunction. All right, this is what the trustees had to file against Dom Dom because she kept hiring people against, local ordinances and state law that said that she had to get the Board of Trustees approval. And you guys can look up this case if you want to. It's case number 2024, C as in cat, H as in house, 08972. And you have the trustees of the Village of Dolton versus super stupid Michael A. Smith, who knows nothing, Angela Lockett, and Ronnie Bird Sr. I'm wondering, is that the same Angela that told that lady she can perform and sing at that event with Kiki Wyatt? Yeah, she's not someone that can just tell you, yeah, you can go ahead and perform. No, you needed the board approval and a contract. You need a contract. If we're going to do better and right some wrongs here, we got to make a start somewhere. We got to at least be able to admit that the police chief does not have the authority to take on a vendor. Or that this mysterious Angela person, which so far is the only time I've seen an Angela, and that's Angela Lockett, telling somebody they can sing because Kiki Wyatt's there when there's no contract agreed upon between the board and the vendor. So, yeah, 2 situations now where you have someone saying, y'all owe me some money without a contract in place, without an RFP, without proof of some sort of a bidding that occurred that was fairly done and competitive. 2 situations right now. And 3 if you add in Oak Construction, to which the CEO of Oak Construction is sitting in prison for 5 years. Super Stupid doesn't have a shot nail. She's going to prison. So in that court filing, that motion that was filed last year, you have Exhibit D, and that's where you find the police department. And you see the role and responsibility of the chief of police. And if you look at 5-1-2, Chief of Police. Letter B. You know what? I'm going to start with letter A. Office created. There is hereby created the Office of Police Chief, 1971 Code, Chapter 14, Statute 2. And then you see letter B. Appointment. The police chief shall be appointed by the village president by and with the consent and board advice of the Board of Trustees. Then you have C, duties. Generally, he shall be responsible for the performance by the police department of all its functions, and all persons who are members of the department shall serve subject to the orders of chief of police. So, seeing the 3 main duties at the bottom, if you go up above 5-1-1, department created members, and then you go down to where it says, neither the chief of police nor any of the policemen or other employees of the police department shall be considered as officers of the village, but they shall all be considered employees of the village. 1971 Code, Chapter 14, Statute 1. You all see that there? So this is why I'm saying that Chief Collins did not have the authority to act on behalf of the Village of Dolton as any member of the Board of Trustees, to consent to any verbal agreement of any implied in fact anything with any vendor at any given time whatsoever by state law and local ordinance. He did not have the power or the authority to do it. He shall not serve or be considered as an officer of the village. That means he cannot act on behalf of the village. He is an employee of the village that is brought on here now at the bottom. You all see he is appointed by the village president and with the consent and advice of the board of the trustees. So he cannot be appointed by the village board of trustees and the village president and then could be considered an actual officer of the village. No. And when they say officer, they're not talking about police officer. They're talking about officers in the elected positions that the board of trustees have or the mayoral position. No. You're an employee like all the rest of the cops. No one else would be able to agree to having a contractor come in and deliver services. No other employee in the police department would have that authority to do so. Guess what? The chief of police doesn't have the authority either. So for him to be the one that they named in that complaint as the one that by and through the chief of police, Collins, made some agreement as if he was representing the Village of Dolton, he messed up when he did that. So JTS Towing wants to go after anybody, you're going to have to go after Collins. Go after, because he the one that made it. But to put the village through any more of a deficit for some nonsense when you never had an agreement in the first place, while Cheryl Schranz sits on the payroll of Dolton Township, making above average for God knows what, because I don't even know what her job title is. Still, what I found, because when you work for any government entity, your salary is public information. So that's not a mystery to be able to look that up. Public information. But for what I saw, I didn't even see a job description. Just had a salary. One of the reasons why the FBI is asking, what the hell does she do? What is her job description here? How is she an employee in Thornton, but then a so-called vendor implied in fact at the Village of Dolton? Where we do that at? Wouldn't that be a conflict? Why are you allowing the same old people to get all of the compensation here? Was there not anyone else that could have put in a bid to be the vendor for towing services? Was there no one else? Better question. Is there no one else that can fill whatever her role is at the Thornton Township? There's a lot of people that need to be terminated or need to make the decision to resign at the Thornton Township because half of these positions are so made up and fictitious, there are no job descriptions for it. Look at Siggy. He only had 2 pieces of paper in his employee file. And yet somehow someone thinks it is a good idea for him to still have access to a building. Why? No one else would get that type of preferential treatment. Oh, God. So as you all can see here, and like I said, I gave you guys a case number. You can pull up this court document. This is Exhibit D. Yeah, the police chief can't just say, oh, yeah, you can come be a vendor for us. I'll speak on behalf of everybody. Nope. God. In my due diligence, I did try to find a contractual agreement. The only thing I came close to, because since the police chief was the one that said, yeah, you can do it, when he shouldn't have said that, was this notice of police department committee meeting that was conducted on October 13th, 2021. And you have here just basically the agenda. But you don't see JTS Towing show up because of reasons. Why didn't he show up? This is the only page, too. It's just this one. Yeah, just a single sheet of paper. So as you all can see here, you got the standard meeting being conducted. Nothing on here addressing towing services being needed or the RFP or bid being placed by JTS Towing LLC or nothing from Chief Collins, where he even had a conversation with JTS Towing LLC or Cheryl Schranz or anybody. Nothing on here about that. All you see is old business, none, new business, consideration approval of officer of the month, officer of the quarter, officer of the year, civilian employee of the month. Condition of the police department, parking lot and back lot, crime in the Village of Dolton, drug houses, traffic concerns. Nothing about that JTS Towing LLC though. Somehow that was not important enough to land in this agenda. This is in October. This is after Chief Collins told JTS Towing, yeah, you can do it. That was on August 9th based on the complaint where he made this verbal agreement for no reason that he didn't have the authority to do. And that still didn't show up on an agenda or anything. I couldn't even find them on a warrant list. I mean, I really did do some due diligence in trying to find some agreement somewhere. Yeah, no, it doesn't exist. I mean, the fact that they used the terminology and the complaint that they used talking about a breach of contract implied. In fact, yeah, no, there's not. I also looked to the meeting minutes for August 2nd, 2021. This would have been the day that the request for towing services went out, according to the court document. JTS Towing received the request, and then they sent back a response 2 days later on August 4th. And then Chief Collins told him, yeah, on August 9th. Yeah, so like I said, I did my due diligence here. And I want to give a shout out to fantastic LLC supporter that sent me this information here. He sent me a ton of warrant lists and meeting minutes, because y'all know I'm going to talk about it. So you don't see anything on here about JTS Towing or towing services. Nothing on here. Just, some condolences, which is, sad situation. Someone lost their life. You got your engineers report, department heads. Please see detailed reports in clerk's office. I don't want to see anything in a clerk's office. I want it posted online. Why are detailed reports in clerk's office? No, it should be attached. Come on now. Come on. Because I did go on the website for the Village of Dolton to pull up meeting minutes and other information. Most of those links aren't active. They're not pulling up any information. That police department committee agenda that I found, I got lucky when I saw that. It's on the Village of Dolton website. I got lucky coming across that one piece of paper dealing with the police department for it to still say nothing about a towing service. But that document is on the Village of Dolton website. Now, this document here is a part of a huge packet of information. 261 pages. Yeah, that was emailed to me. I appreciate it. Thank y'all. Ah, man, people look out for the Lady Luck Club. I appreciate it. I really do. Because this information is helpful. Now you all see why I wanted meeting minutes. Do y'all understand why I wanted meeting minutes? Because if I can't see the contract or the agreement or anything, the RFP in writing, okay, let's see if it was discussed and brought up in a board meeting. And I'm not seeing it here at all. Nothing about towing. They're talking about a whole lot of other things, but nothing about towing. They're talking about the resurfacing grant under the engineer's, report. Sidewalks and alleys program grant. Remote water and meter grant. All these grants they're getting. We'll work with village admin for funds under American Rescue Plan Act. Yeah. There was a question about fire hydrants, because, those seem like they're needed. Department head report. Please see detailed reports at clerk's office. Please, Clerk Key, email me those reports. Good grief. Just please email them to me. Corporate bills. Y'all, there's a discussion down here about some fireworks here. Y'all look under Trustee Belger, the fireworks request for $5,000, but an additional $3,000 was spent. Those are $8,000. The spending for events are ridiculous. The trustees were bringing up these concerns about spending back in 2021. Just as an FYI to those who want to keep bashing the trustees, they've been trying to address issues with overspending by dum-dum who wants gum-gum, going back to 2021. And if we're going to sit here and read these meeting minutes, we're not going to pick it apart and pull out the stuff we don't like. You all can clearly see here, Trustee Belcher talking about how ridiculous it is to spend $8,000 total for an event, for some dumb fireworks. And then, of course, Super Stupid is sitting here like, basically, just pay it. No, that's not how it works, because it's not your money. But if you all scroll down a little bit more here, look at this. Who is donating additional $5,000 for fireworks? Mayor Dum Dum. School Board 148, because you can't make this up. You cannot make this up. I just wanted to point that out, because I know a lot of people are reporting on the school board and all of that, which you should. There's some elections going on all over the place up there in Illinois. You guys definitely need to see how this all connects. There is a personal interest in the School Board 148 and their support for Super Stupid. Because who the hell donates $5,000? They were trying to avoid having to get a board approval or bringing red flags to the amount. So they capped it at $5,000. But who gives $5,000 worth of fireworks? Don't you all have bonds to pay off? Oh, the bonds. But come on, let's be serious here. You don't get someone to donate $5,000 to fireworks, Super Stupid, when you have debt to pay. That concept called bills that you still don't understand. $5,000 for fireworks? Hell no, we would put that towards a bond. Put it on the bond. Put it on the bond. All right. Yeah, so as you all can see, nothing in here about JTS Towing whatsoever. On August 2nd, when the request for the towing services went out. I really did try to get my due diligence on here. I don't see anything on here. Y'all let me know when you all find anything with towing. If you see the word towing, let me know. See, car show. Yeah. Then Super Stupid giving her mayoral report down at the bottom. Just going on and on. On and on and on and on. Oh my God. Yeah, no, let me know when you all see towing though. Nothing at all. So you would think if they sent out a request for towing services that it would show up in this actual board meeting in the meeting minutes, because they're trying to get a new vendor for services. You would think it would show up in a meeting, right? Yeah, no, it didn't. It didn't at all. They're talking about everything else but that. And as you all can see, the trustees are trying to get a handle on super stupid's outrageous spending on dumb things. Dumb things, super stupid. Dumb stuff. Who needs $8,000 worth of fireworks? No one. No one needs that. But yet and still, nothing on here about towing services. And you paying a vendor that is now trying to sue the village of Dolton $50,000 per defendant because reasons. God, you cannot make this up. Yeah, I'm laughing because it's just sad. This is so obvious and blatant. It's like a slap in the face. It's almost like an insult to my intelligence to know that they go into court with no agreement in place. Nothing to prove that they even went through a proper competitive bidding process. And it didn't even show up in a meeting. But they want $50,000 per defendant. $50,000 per defendant, my lord. Oh, God. Okay. Oh, that was the end of it. Wait a minute. Here's the meeting from August 30th. This is well after the response from JTS Towing came in on August 4th. Chief Collins said, yeah, on August 9th. Things happened. Nope, didn't come up in this meeting minute either. It just doesn't make sense. Y'all, why does William Moore keep leading the prayer? I'm just curious about that. Was there no one else that could have done the prayer? I mean, where's Deacon Stan Brown at? Yeah, I don't care for that guy either. I just don't. You got to go. You did a lot of dumb things, and you got caught on camera doing it because most of those meetings were televised, and it's just astounding how much support you gave to one little female that could do nothing to you. You were elected. It's not like she could have you fired. So what were you scared of again, Stan Brown? Come on, kick rocks. So yeah, no, nothing in here about a towing. Nothing. Yeah, that's it. Great. Moving on. So I'm going to end this video with this because we're going into an hour, 14 minutes, but it was well worth it. Guys, we looked at court documents. We've looked at business licenses and statement of terminations. We've looked at BBB ratings, and, we've finally seen a picture of Cheryl Schranz. She gets paid with Dolton Township more than the average person. So shout out to Dear Woke Christian, my brother in school in Christ and everything else in between. Morehouse Brothers, Spellman Sister, yay. And he pulled up a video in his live stream. And this is MoAl24, who, I don't know how he came across this video, but I'm so glad he did. So Dear Woke Christian, good job. I have been, like I said, scouring the earth online, trying to find an agreement, something of the sort. I mean, when they couldn't even submit that as an exhibit with court documents with a complaint, I knew more than likely one didn't exist. But aside from All in the Queue, I and All in the Queue are the only ones that's talking about this JTS towing here. So this video touches bases on that, and I sped it up a little bit for the sake of brevity. But we're going to check out this video here because it kind of ties in everything that I just reported on as a whole together. It's my understanding that Cheryl Schranz was a contributor to Super Stupid's campaign. So for her to be told by Chief Collins, yeah, you can pick up this vendor and tow cars and steal from them and whatever else she was doing with them, without a contract in place, it just goes to kind of point towards that pay-to-play scheme that the FBI doesn't like, that Cheryl Schranz knows she's in trouble for, because now she's on the FBI subpoena list because they want to know everything about her. Because this makes no sense. It just doesn't. You can't make this up. Okay? But I'm just here, just giving reporting and putting out the information. All right, let's get to it.
That haven't seen my previous videos on Dolton?
Yes,
here's how this video came to be. After hearing all the crazy stuff going on in the news and just all the crazy antics of Tiffany, I was curious as to who was donating money to her and if anyone donating to her was getting any money from the village of Dolton.
Yep.
Like, any city contracts, anything like that. It appears most of her donors do business with the village of Dolton in some way, shape, or form. Like, for example, Delgado Law Group. They're representing Tiffany and the village of Dolton in a couple lawsuits. John Casper Company, I believe that's their auditors. I know they deal with the Casper CPA firm. I'm pretty sure that's it.
Delgado Group is the worst. They are the worst. Now they're over there at a school board, still just draining money, tax dollars from majority black communities, while still doing nothing. Doing nothing. Twisting up the law to bend it in Super Stupid's favor. It's pretty much all they do. Like, you guys got to find a way to get rid of them. There's $60,000 here and there. They showing up on warrant lists everywhere, getting paid all this money for non-billable hours for work they're not damn doing in the first place. Other than trying to kiss her ass. Like they owe her something, I guess. I don't know. Whatever.
Then I came across this Cheryl Schranz. Cheryl stuck out to me because she's a Dolton Township employee, and she's also on the board of Tiffany's Charity.
Yep.
Like I said before, I believe Tiffany's Charity is 100% fake. If anything, it was like a marketing ploy during her election. And for those that don't know, Tiffany's not just the mayor of Dolton. She's also the supervisor at Dolton Township, which I believe is the top position. And Dolton Township is the biggest township in Illinois. I believe it consists of either 11 or 13 different towns. Anyways, outside of being the Dolton Township employee and a donor to Tiffany, what really made Cheryl stand out was looking at the articles of incorporation for the Tiffany Henry Cares Foundation. When Cheryl donated to Tiffany, she used an Indiana address, and then on this articles of incorporation, she used a Dolton address. And going forward, any address that's blurred is a personal address. So what I realized was, since I'm familiar with the area, that isn't a personal address. That's a business address.
Yep.
So when I looked up the address, it came back to a company called JTS Towing. Now, I couldn't find a lot about JTS Towing. They don't have a website or anything. They have a Facebook page, which has now been put on private. At first, I thought maybe they put it on private or deleted their posts from nasty messages and stuff. And after thinking about it, I don't actually think that's the case. I actually think it may be for other reasons. And to be clear here, I'm not a fan of bullying and harassing.
Yeah, no, it's because their LLC is terminated. It wasn't terminated at this point, but now it is. But they were being accused of stealing and crushing cars and vandalizing vehicles and stealing items out of the car, which is still theft of property, no matter how you put it, Cheryl Schranz. And because you don't like mean words, now you somehow have an issue with people filing complaints because they had to go to the Better Business Bureau to do it. Because you don't make yourself or this fake-ass company you got available to rectify issues and solve problems. Because you thought you could do what you want to do, and the FBI would not notice. They're always watching. Always watching.
So please, anyone that watches this video, don't go bullying or harassing any of these people. That's not the intention. Chicago and the Chicagoland area is the most corrupt area in America. If we want it to stop, we got to start talking about it.
Yep.
Anyways, the next thing I was able to find about JTS Towing was this MSN article. It's actually a Nextdoor article. Village of Dolton towed stranded vehicles last night due to flooding.
Ooh, Lord. Allegations of exploitative towing practices raise concerns in Dolton. Residents in Dolton are expressing outrage over exorbitant towing fees during recent flood incidents, with charges exceeding $700.
Ooh, Lord.
As the town grapples with financial challenges, some are questioning whether this surge in towing costs is an attempt to extract additional funds from residents already facing economic strain.
Yep.
Excessive fees. Amid financial struggles, Dolton, currently facing a deficit, has witnessed a spike in towing charges during flood-related incidents. Residents argue that the steep fees, notably over $700, are unjustified and place an undue burden on the community. Reports of cars crushed without documentation. Disturbingly,
did y'all hear that? Over $700. That's about as bad as that $500 ticket thing that was going on. People getting $500 tickets. And you're dating the court, and judges are just dismissing the tickets altogether. They're like, what the hell is going on here? Because Super Stupid thought she could override our judicial branch of government, which she will never do. She'll find out. When the FBI drop that superseding indictment. Yeah, you'll find out, Heifer.
Have emerged of residents' vehicles being crushed before they receive certified documentation to claim their cars. This has raised concerns about due process and the potential for residents to lose their vehicles without proper notification or recourse. Missing items and alleged theft. In addition to the steep fees and premature vehicle disposal, residents have voiced grievances about missing items from their towed vehicles. Some claim that personal belongings were absent upon retrieval, or worse, stolen from their cars. These allegations further intensify suspicions of impropriety within the towing process. Questioning the motive. With the town's financial challenges and these troubling reports from residents, questions arise about whether Dolton's towing practices are a deliberate ploy to extract additional funds, potentially at the expense of the community's well-being. Concerned citizens are calling for transparency and accountability in the towing procedures. As Dolton residents grapple with the aftermath of flooding, the exorbitant towing fees and reports of questionable practices have ignited a debate about the town's motives. It remains to be seen whether these allegations are indicative of a larger issue or a mere misunderstanding. However, the call for an investigation into towing practices has gained traction as residents seek answers and fair treatment during challenging times.
This article's been scrubbed from the internet, so let me read it for you real quick. Village of Dolton towed stranded vehicles last night due to flooding, and now JTS Towing is charging $705 to get the vehicles back.
Wow.
People asked in the comments if I was able to use the Wayback Machine to try to pull up the article, and no, you cannot because it's on Nextdoor. Just like you can't use the Wayback Machine to look up a deleted YouTube video, it's the same way on Nextdoor. Then when I was searching JTS Towing, this was the only other thing that popped up that interested me, and it's George's Towing versus the Village of Dolton.
Ooh, Lord. George's Towing secures restraining order against Dolton in absentia. In a recent legal development, George's Towing has successfully obtained a restraining order against the town of Dolton. The order was granted in a hearing before the Honorable Charles P. Kokoris, where notably no representative for the defendants from the town of Dolton was present. Court proceedings. The filing documented as.
So I'm gonna just stop it right there. You guys can go on Mo AI 24 YouTube channel here. I already gave it a thumbs up. It was a great video. Because I don't want to get into the George's record service. I just wanted to highlight the JTS Towing because of Cheryl Schranz being under FBI investigation. Oh man, I'm tackling that list bit by bit. So you guys check out this video. It's a very good video, and I wanted to conclude this reporting and research that took a minute to do so that I can understand when I, present this information and be able to tie some of this stuff together. A couple of things, of course, in the video I addressed earlier regarding the business license. I didn't see the statement of termination he covered, but it's on the Illinois state government website. You can put in the, look back at the video and put in the file number or the business license number. And you'll be able to go down to the bottom, scroll to the bottom, and you'll see the filings. So click on that tab. And you'll be able to see all the filings since going back to 2017. But yes, the statement of termination is the very last filing that was uploaded. So the LLC doesn't even exist legally in the first place, at least according to the state of Illinois. But sometimes this is what, I hope that, you guys find helpful and can, and informative and can utilize to help you make, great informed decisions on your candidates, to know what to fight back for when you're, at the town hall meetings and budget meetings and cow meetings and anything else they want to have, so that you can understand what's happening with your tax dollars here. It's crazy. It's crazy. $700 for a car from flooding. That's price gouging at its finest. But yeah, I just, at some point, Cheryl Schranz got to come into her either way. And I'm sure the FBI has probably already knocked on her door and made some calls to her a couple times in the last good year. But this is what happens when, you don't do things the right way. It's one thing to be ignorant of and lack knowledge and knowing what to do. It's another thing to know what to do. You got a whole ass attorney that can file a lawsuit, but they couldn't tell you that you should have never had a verbal agreement with the chief of police. Like, you see how ridiculous that is, Cheryl Schranz? Come on now. So once again, I would like to thank all you guys for tuning in and listening. Thank all in the queue. Please watch her video on Cheryl Schranz that she covered. It deserves so many more views. It's going to help pull a lot more of this together. Thank you to Dear World Christian. Thank you to MoAI24. And thank you to all of you all, to the LLC supporters that emailed me the warrant list and the meeting minutes. You guys can also go on, of course, utilize my video if you want to grab the court filings for the lawsuit they filed. But I did pull up the docket as well. Court documents is public information unless it's under seal or parts of the case are redacted. Then, but I think you have to pay for it, but it's still something that the public should be able to access and be able to read and understand for yourselves and see what's going on. You guys make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe if you're enjoying what I'm doing here in the Lady Luck Club. Yes, I got so far a $50 gift card from fantastic LLC supporter that I'm going to use to get some headphones. I just haven't even had time to do it yet. I've been working like crazy, got kids, been sick. My son was sick. Lots of things happening going on at once. My birthday is coming up Monday, guys. So that means that it's time to get my tag renewed on my car. So that had to happen. So either way, I'm going to have some fun this weekend and do a lot of lives, do a lot of videos, got a lot of content posting up. And I want to give a shout out to RTIST who helped to kind of give, it's going to be a more refined intro video that you'll see, that hopefully you've seen and enjoyed the beginning of this video. RTIST, thank you. I threw a couple pictures in there, but RTIST did the bulk of the work. I'm not that creative. I don't like editing. I just don't. I feel more comfortable just kind of giving out the information. And for what I give is, any other time it'd be pretty boring. So I appreciate you all tuning in. Make sure you play back this video on 1.5 speed because it's funny and it helps you get through it, a lot quicker. It was a lot of information. I had a great time looking this stuff up. I enjoyed doing this, reporting and research. And I hope you guys find this useful. All right. Thank you for tuning in. And look out for the next videos to come. It's going to involve some comedic relief. And I do plan on doing a live this weekend. But until the next one, lady, look out. Deuces.